This is the Unleash Your Purpose podcast.
You know the foster world. I don't know it as well as you do, but we adopted our daughter. By the way, somebody really great helped us find our daughter.
Yes. I wasn't going to name drop that, but I will. I may have helped him find the best little girl in the whole world. And
really, truly.
Yes.
Truly. And we were forever grateful.
Oh, yeah. Dude, she is amazing.
Yeah, she is.
I knew that
she's
this
13.
one was supposed to be a Gokee.
Yeah,
for
she's
sure.
13 now. But you know, I think we just went like the family keeps it's so unsettling.
Yeah.
And the family gets turned over. So like this isn't gonna work.
Yeah.
It isn't gonna work. So but here's the thing. A mentor of mine said, just do a good job caring for people and the rest of it will come. And it's been the hardest part for me because how do you pitch that? How do you pitch like, I help church staff get healthier.
Yeah.
So their families don't implode and so communities don't implode.
Yeah.
You know, like, and people go, how much money do you need? You know, like they make the assumption that everything's fine. And so I've had to really go, I'm just going to be faithful to do a good job.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go have the conversations I need to with people who understand that and believe that we'll be taken care of. Now, on top of that, we've also created a business model where we're offering products. We have an app, an assessment app that we charge for. So I'm grateful that we have that. So we also do staff assessment. So we'll come into churches and we'll assess their whole staff.
You're not just counting on, you have multiple, it's like for a nonprofit to really be sustainable, you get the multiple lines of revenue and
which I've never had that in all the years I've done nonprofit.
Like, let me just talk about it and communicate and tell you the need.
And hope somebody writes a check. And I hope that still happens.
But I think that is actually an old form of nonprofit life. Yeah. I don't think that's reality anymore.
I agree with that.
You have to have like products, services, some type of deliverables that you're giving, because what people need to hear is like, you had such a clear call and passion for your life. Yeah. You knew that there was a deep need for people that were hurting, and for the church is like a family. Like when the family isn't healthy, the kids aren't healthy. When mom and dad are, same for you. Yeah. So same for this, if the church isn't healthy, the leadership isn't healthy. So you have this sense of call, and now you have the skill set of bringing people in, sharing the vision. Yeah. And now kind of you're rolling out ways to fund this thing.
But last year, I think we did 2,400 hours of care.
Wow.
So of just sitting with people.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's not even including people we've connected into counseling and connected into mentorship and, and helping people take whatever that next best step is. Yeah. We're going to help them do that.
You and I were talking about like the mental health. People talk about like a mental health crisis, but there's something going on within our culture right now. Yeah. That feels.
Yeah. I always go like,
this is rumbling.
I think what COVID did was go with flash bang, boom, there's a big problem. And then we did what every culture has ever done in a big bang type of situation. We went, well, what do we do? And we panic. And so everyone's trying to go, oh my gosh, I have these problems, or I have these addictions. And everybody, either during the pandemic or after in 21 and 22, then they survived. And when you survive, you assume you're okay.
Yeah. But you're still sick.
And
I think
and so you're waiting for the bottom to fall out on that again. Unfortunately.
And it's cracking.
Yeah. But that's what happens in every society read history. Yeah. That's what always happens. But there are people who are prepared to care. Yeah. And I think we're one of those organizations that is prepared to care. Yeah. And we're prepared. We're ready for that. And now if it doesn't happen, that's okay. At least I was prepared. Yeah. At least I believed that, listen, we need to take the steps we need to take as an organization to get ready for hurt, for pain, instead of being caught off guard. Yeah. And I think so often, Martin Luther King Jr. said something about the local church I thought was great. And you could take this, or business leaders or whoever. He says, he said something to the effect, I'm just going to murder it. But he said something like, I'm so discouraged that that the local church or business leaders or whatever is the taillights instead of the headlights in culture. And I'm like, I want to be the headlights. I want to be the one that, like, when it's dark and it feels alone and you don't know where to go, that you can go like, wait a second, they're paving a way. There's a light that's lighting up the path. Instead of just being reactionary in the way I care, like being proactive and going, we're preparing for what could be, while also dealing with what we have currently. And so I'm grateful for that. And but I wish I was that smart. I really wish I was. I just feel the mercy of God, like that He's the one who's allowed us to, and brought really wonderful people around us to help encourage us and
I think
guide us on that journey.
You really have been put in a really good position for a time as right now.
Yeah.
And it's like really gonna, like, staff are in such a crisis of needing to have health because the church is a hospital.
Yeah.
And people need to come. And we were talking about within our culture, there are just so much unrest. And I'm not like a conspiracy theory guy, but every conspiracy theory guy says, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. And then they say something, but this could be a little conspiracy theory. Isn't that how it always
I don't
starts?
read any of the things. My wife always tells me about stuff, and I'm like, okay. I'm such an optimist. I'm like, it'll all work out.
And then for me, I'm an optimist, but then I'm also like, I'm looking at our culture right now, and I'm like, like I was saying that, like record inflation, like the massive amounts of debt within our culture. We have this gender like distortions. We have political unrest and like all of these wars. You're like, there is only so much a culture can withstand before there's significant cracks.
But I saw Patty and I were talking about this the other day, and I go, yes, but my whole life has been like something's coming. Like when I was in the 80s, it was the Russians were going to bomb us, you know, and then it was, so it was, and then Desert Storm and then the Twin Towers and then the recession and so I think there's a beautiful resistance in that resilience of going like, how do I stay prepared and be in today? Yeah. And I think that's a really good, that's a good path forward for a lot of people of going like, if you're in your mid 40s, you've been through a bunch. I mean, literally, if you've been born, you've been through quite a bit. And we've all endured a lot.
Yeah. Mid 40s, you're like, you've done a lot of life.
But on the other side of that, I can't believe where I am today. I can't believe what I get to do. And had I got caught into the chaos of all of that, I think it would have really impacted my focus. And I think it would have impacted my care.
Thanks for joining us for the Unleash Your Purpose podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and leave a review. We'll see you next week.